And with this week, this was actually something that I have stumbled upon social media. And I'm going to be very honest. Maybe I'm not the best person to discuss about this subject, considering I have not seen a single episode of this show in particular. But I can't help but feel that there is something that's rather off. There is something that's rather fishy with what people are doing on social media with this thing. And chances are you might have probably stumbled upon this as well on some place like Facebook or Twitter or Reddit or anything like that. But allow me to explain what the whole situation is. Now, apparently, there is this Reddit post, and this actually got pretty popular all around the website as well, and it stumbled upon onto several different social media platforms that apparently they were discussing about this one character from the Powerpuff Girls reboot. And I'm talking about the character named Jared Shapiro. If you don't know who he is, now from the stuff that I've read about the guy, apparently this is a new character that was created for the Powerpuff Girls reboot that actually has a crush on Blossom. And Blossom actually does have a crush on him back. So that's kind of one of the big romantic stingers that the 2016 series would have to offer, is mostly the question, are we going to see these two characters come together? But what apparently is going on is that people have made the shocking discovery that Jared Shapiro is actually modeled after a real person. And that actually is the writer and the voice of the character named Jake Goldman, who actually did write all the episodes, at least on season 1 of the Powerpuff Girls reboot. Like, he wrote, like, the way that this little post or this picture is presenting it is that Jake Goldman actually did write all the episodes where Jared Shapiro actually did appear in. And more, they would go deeper into this situation. And what pretty much these people are accusing the Powerpuff Girls of doing is that they're saying that Jake self-inserted himself onto the show, create his self-inserted OC to go and have him be in a romantic relationship with Blossom. And what follows afterwards is that you actually see a few pictures from the show itself where you see romantic moments with Blossom and Jared Shapiro, where there's this one picture right over here with Blossom relaxing, and you got Jared dressed up like a Viking behind her. And then you got this little fantasy moment where Blossom is right next to this super muscly Jared Shapiro. And then you also got another one, and for some people they say that this is crossing the line, is that you got a bit of a Phantom of the Opera parody where you have Blossom dressed up as Christine Daae and Jared as the Phantom. So you pretty much got this whole scene where it's like they're singing together, "Past the point of no return, no backward glances," and all that kind of stuff. So I would sing more of it, but I need to pretty much remember more lyrics of Phantom of the Opera. I've listened to it so much, but oh my god, I don't know. Unless you guys desperately need me to go and sing an entire song of Phantom of the Opera, I don't know. Anyways, okay, I don't know. I'm just distracting myself. Sorry about that. So yeah, basically the whole point of this post is that people are a little bit freaked out, and basically, even though they're not saying it, they're trying to portray Jake Goldman as getting a little bit of pedo vibes, saying that he might actually have a secret crush on Blossom, and by making Jared Shapiro, he would actually have like a bit of his little fantasies come true with that thing. And I knew that there would be something that is off right over there. Now, before we would go and like pick up our pitchforks and stuff like that and go attack on Jake Goldman and stuff like that, for doing this kind of thing to have this secret crush on Blossom. Now, let me just explain to you guys, you do know that this is actually rather common in animation, right? Like, this is a usual thing that we would see creators of the shows, writers, animators, and all that stuff. They would go and self-insert themselves onto like the animated project that they're working on, put themselves into the world of the TV show or the movie. And in most cases, they would usually insert themselves as extras. They're usually just pedestrians in the city, or they're just walking past by the main characters and stuff like that. But there are some examples as well that sometimes they could actually be the main characters as well. And a great example of this is with the Pixar films. Some people have stated that Buzz Lightyear is actually modeled after John Lasseter. Or in The Incredibles, some people even said that Syndrome is actually modeled after Brad Bird. However, do we accuse John Lasseter of being this egotistical spaceman who pretty much lives in his own world and thinks that he's in a different planet? Absolutely not. Do we accuse Brad Bird of being a lunatic fanboy? Absolutely not. So why would this be the case with Jake Goldman? And I have done some research, and I did find that some people have stated that apparently what has been going on is that there's no complex story into it. There's no hidden agenda. It's just something that the crew from the Powerpuff Girls reboot thought that it was funny. They looked at Jake and they thought, hey, you know what, Jake? You do look like a massive nerd, so we're going to make you this character right over here. And you know what? You do sound rather nerdy as well. Just for the lulz, why don't we actually go and make you voice the character as well? So it was just a fun little idea that the writers had, and they thought it was a cute little thing. And as for the extra accusation that they have, like they're trying to make this a massive proof that it really is Jared doing all the puppet work and stuff like that, because he's the one that has written all the episodes that would have Jared in it. But the way that they're presenting it is as if Jake has only written the episodes that would have Jared. What you don't know is that if you do your research, Jared has written a lot of episodes for the Powerpuff Girls reboot. It's not just for that, it's for the majority of them. So that's the thing, is that it's not just like, they don't just call upon Jake whenever Jared is summoned. Like, he has to do his job by working on almost all the episodes of the Powerpuff Girls. Rather it be as just writing for additional material, or actually full-on writing the story. He has to do his freaking job. He's just one of the writers equally as much as everyone else. And the whole thing, why I do feel that it's so fishy, is that, it's not really the fact that people are getting pedo vibes from Jake. That is not the point at all. I just feel like people are just doing it just so they can justify their hate on the TV show. Now, it's no secret that the Powerpuff Girls reboot, it's not a liked show. Or at the very least, it's not as beloved as the original series done by Craig McCracken. And I have heard of many different criticisms that have been put onto the series. Rather it be that the voice cast has been completely replaced by the original people that worked on it, and the original people are really not happy about it. There is also the factor that the animation really does suck, and admittedly, even I have seen plenty of examples of bad animation in the Powerpuff Girls, and they can absolutely be laughably bad. There is also the factor that throughout the whole series, they would do nothing but force in memes, like you would have Bubbles go no me gusta and all that kind of stuff. And you would also have the girls do inhumane things, like having frickin' 6-year-olds twerking. Like, okay, that is honestly a step a little bit too far. But honestly, I understand that there is this hate for this series. But I don't want you guys to go and fabricate some stuff to the point that it would be damaging to the people working on it. It's okay if you can attack the show, but don't attack the people that are working on the show. And trust me, as a critic myself, like, that's an important rule of thumb that you gotta do. You gotta attack the subject, just the subject in itself. Criticize the writing, criticize the animation. Don't criticize the people that are working on it, because at that point, well, okay, technically you can, but like, do it in a way that is respectful. But don't, like, I'm not saying don't, I think the word that I am looking for is don't attack the others, or don't attack the individuals that are working on it. And I mean, that's what I feel like the worst case scenario is with this post right over here, is that people might take this the wrong way, and they might go and accuse Jake of being a pedophile. And honestly, I am pretty certain that this is not the case. This is not true at all. People are just finding reasons to justify their hate for the TV series. I mean, if this would be a similar case to a show that is a lot more respected, like Steven Universe per se, like if they have the exact same case with, like if they would have a Jared Shapiro onto, onto Steven Universe, that there is actually someone in the writing team that would be modeled after and provide their voice, and would be a character that would have a crush on Steven, then I don't think people will complain about it. But because of the fact that this is the Powerpuff Girls reboot, and they would spread massive hate onto it, honestly, it's just that. It's mainly because they're doing this because this is a TV show that has a pretty bad reputation. And honestly, I would like to have Jake Goldman's take on this, because honestly, I feel like this is a situation that, like, he and the writing crew of the Powerpuff Girls can actually go and defend their case, saying that this is not the case. This is not Jake's agenda so that he can live his fantasies to be in a romantic relationship with Blossom. I would like to hear their take on it. Now, rather, if I would have the power to do so, that I don't know, or if they would even care to listen to this podcast, that I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't think too highly of myself, but I would, honestly, this is something that can easily be resolved if we can hear their take on the character of Jared Shapiro. If we can hear what they have to say about the making of the character, the coincidences, about having Jake be modeled and voiced, be the voice for Jared, and all that kind of stuff, I feel like it can easily be solved. So I think the lesson in this overall is that, if you hate the series, that's fine, whatever, but don't let that hate simmer onto the individuals that would make it. I don't want to see people attack Jake Goldman for this. Seriously, that would be a little bit too far. At that point, it doesn't matter how much you hate the series or how bad the series is. You don't attack the people that make it. You can attack the thing, but not the people that made the thing. That's the whole point, okay? I hope we're all good with it, okay? So you could go back hating on the Powerpuff Girls, but just leave Jake Goldman alone, okay? Just leave him alone. He's not a pedophile, okay? It's just a fun little thing that the writers decided to do. That's it. That's all.